Any idea what you're looking at? That is a list of the passengers on the Mayflower.
No, I can't believe this. No, my ancestors did not come here on the Mayflower.
Miss Pump Your Fist in the Air is it comes from Colonizers.
That is funny.
Me and Danielle are reading Up From Slavery. With Booker T. Washington. And, you know, he was a slave. So he talks about the fact extensively that, you know, the way black people felt about white people. And, you know what I mean, in those days. You know, I'd rather hear it from the horse's mouth, not just like, you know what I mean? Like, it's good to hear that. Former slave talking about, and a person who was here during Reconstruction, a person who dealt with the KKK, you know what I mean? And that's it. And even those black people had some sort of empathy on white people because they realized those white people were brainwashed, just like they were, to be slaves.
Yeah.
But, you know, look, I don't like to bring it up all the time, but, like, I was raped by a black man. So am I supposed to be mad at black men?
Right.
For the rest of my life because of one black man or all, you know, just take that one situation in my life and that's supposed to be my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's it. Most black people in America today were not slaves. And white people in America today were not slave owners.
Right.
It's been outlawed. I don't even think, white people are losing their jobs. I mean, he lost his.
Yeah, he lost
for
his
saying
job.
what he said. Freedom of speech, right? No. You know what I mean? It's just like white people can't say anything.
They can't.
That even sounds like they have pride in their own race. Because if they walked around talking about white pride, they would lose their jobs. They would lose their livelihood. They're not allowed to say it. They're not allowed to speak a truth that is happening in their life. You know what I mean? But we are allowed to walk around and make fun of white people openly. And I mean, honestly, I've watched several Dave Chappelle comedy. He's open. I mean, they all are. Chris Rock, all of them. They openly make fun of white people right there in the audience. The majority of the audience can be white, and they're sitting there making fun of white people, and white people are laughing.
It's accepted.
Right.
Obviously, in the comedic realm, there's a lot of we give a lot of passes to comedians. Obviously, that's their craft. But in general speaking, there's a pass for black people to treat white people almost any way you want to. And every once in a while, you will run across a white person that's not taking that crap. Right? Every once in a while, and I think you got one. They're just like, no, you can't talk to me like that. I am not a slave owner. So we're going to have to move forward from that. And I'm sorry, I believe that to be true. I do. And, you know, like Kira was saying, we're reading, you know, and I read Up From Slavery many, many years ago, but in my liberal mind. I thought it'd be interesting to read it now in more conservative, kind of like a level-headed, not so emotional, you know, like way. And listening to him now, it's a man taking as a former slave, taking responsibility and accountability for how he's going to behave in the world, what he's going to give to the world, even though he was subjected to the atrocities of slavery. So that ended, they moved on, and then he became something. Not only did he do that, he did something for his own people. And then they became something. And guess what happened? Everybody moved on, even white people. I don't understand how a slave can move on and make it in life and help black people. Yet now, no slavery, and then we're doing the exact opposite. We're going backwards. That's like a slap in the face to people like him.
It's like Henry Gates did he does a lineage thing on everybody really, white and black people. He did one on Angela Davis the other day. She finds out that she is a colonist. She comes from the first people that came on the Mayflower.
Yeah.
She's related to.
Any idea what you're looking at? That is a list of the passengers on the Mayflower.
No, I can't believe this. No, my ancestors did not come here on the Mayflower.
Your ancestors came on the Mayflower.
No.
You are descended
No.
from one of the 101 people who sailed on the Mayflower.
Oof. That's a little bit too much to deal with right now.
Did you ever, in your wildest dreams, think that you may have descended from people who laid
Never,
the foundation
never,
for this country?
never.
Miss Pump Your Fist in the Air is it comes from Colonizers. And she's all, no, going crazy and stuff like, no. That's why the irony.
The irony. I'm glad that happened, by the way.
And I'm glad that happened to her. Because the thing is that it goes to show you that you can't control who you come from.
Right.
You understand? Like you can't control who you are. I like being black, but I don't have any stake in this.
Yeah,
this is how I came in. Just like white people don't have any stake in that either.
Yeah.
You understand? Like it's not my job. I don't have any stake in being a woman.
Yeah.
That's just the way I came into the world. That was God's plan. That wasn't my plan.
Right.
You don't get pats on the back for being black. You didn't make that. You just are.
To treat white people as if they're all racist is, to me, like that's like the bottom of the bottom. I feel like it's cowardly. We inject racism to every single thing. We do. And then even like with Kara and I having this conversation, whenever we talk about this, the first word comes out, oh, coon, sell out, bed wenches, I bet they're married to white men. It's just like, it's like, you can't even say these things. You can't say these things because, we do, but because, people are going to call you the names. And a lot of people won't be called the names.
You think white people are thinking about you all day? How arrogant! You don't think white people have to feed their kids,
right,
and go to school and make money, and they're not going through this economy with us, and they're not. You know what I mean? Like this whole idea that we're just this big center of attention. Everybody's always thinking about us and trying to. No one's ever thinking about us, and you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to sit around here constantly thinking about another race of people when you have to raise your kids, you have to pay your bills. You know what I mean? It's just, it gets old after a while. And a lot of this, all of this, even on MSNBC and CNN, like their correspondents, those people, they just go on and on about systematic racism and here these people sit here with contracts at $16 million, black people. You know what I mean?
Oh boy.
When Don Lemon said what he said, he was saying the right thing.
He was.
Suddenly, all of a sudden, he wasn't saying that anymore.
Yeah.
He started talking about how he was being, how black people are being oppressed and everything. And that's because that's not the narrative they want him to say as a black person.
Right.
They want him to sound like, Joy-Ann Reid and, all of the rest of these people. It was what's his name? Illy Mistal, that guy with the big hair. The heavyset guy with the big puffy
guy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's on View.
Yeah, he's been on everything.
Yeah.
Just these very Ibram X Kendi, these like victimized wealthy people.
Yeah, keeping black people down. I think they're keeping black people down.
What's the name? LeBron James. They're shooting us down on the street. I'm like, shut up.
Especially when the statistics show that white people are getting shot down more than black people.
Yeah,
by cops.
Cops don't want to even bother black people no more. They
just like
ruin their
forget
whole
it.
career. You get dragged through the it's just
no one wants to look at any statistics. No one wants to do that. Everyone's just going by the loop on mainstream media. It's like anybody who dies in that way, it's sad, right? For people, it's sad. But when you're talking about it in a logical sense, like you have to get down to data here, and the notion that we are just getting steamrolled, black people just getting steamrolled across the map. It's just, to me, it's like negligent, and it's like it's not paying attention to the actual data. Doesn't support what you're saying. Racism happens. It's a thing. Again, but it is not the most prevalent thing going on today in this country. You can't
get rid of personal responsibility from someone.
Right.
The instant you do that, you create this.
It's true.
You just can't. Your freedom is built into that personal responsibility. You know what I mean? Because you're the one that kind of makes your life. It's your decisions you make.
Yep.
Even when I was when we were looking at like Clarence Thomas, and he said that he did a when he was younger and he was in college, he did a riot. He was part of that. He said as soon as he went home, he thought, "Why did I do that?
Why did I do that?"
He didn't even know why he was doing that, and he stopped. He realized that these are decisions that are what am I doing? I'm privileged. I'm going to a great college. Why am I doing this? You know what I mean? It's just Herman Cain said that when people used to ask him all the time, how did you get through this racism? So he said, I don't have time to think about that. I need to move forward.
Yeah. What does that even mean? What
does that mean?
Like, what are you talking about? How do I get through the racism of the world? I'm not even thinking about that. Personally, I know that racism exists in the world. It's not prevalent. I don't even think about it like that. I'm not sitting here all day trying to figure out a way to pull out my black card. I don't do that. I live my life. I take responsibility for what I've done in my life, and that's where I leave it. I don't expect me to make a mistake and then white people come and just help me get over the mistake. No.
I don't expect a black person to.
It's like,
I help myself.
It's like people are handling, white people are sometimes handling black people with kids' gloves.
It's hurting you.
It's messing you up. Stop doing that. Okay?
Just live your life.
Yeah. There's a lot of issues within the black community. I think even Malcolm X said this once. There are issues within the black community that will only be fixed in the black community. You can't fix it from the outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't fix it from the outside. And I think sometimes white people think that they can come in and save the day and give us a leader and all this stuff. No. I think Jesse Lee Peterson said, why do black people always need a leader? Why do we need a leader?
I mean, he had a video. Jesse Peterson had a video where he read a letter that was sent to him.
Yeah.
Anyhow, he asked his audience what the guy wrote, or the girl. They didn't give the gender or whatever. They just were more like they don't really want to be around black people, and black people commit crimes. And Jesse was just reading it. It was pretty bad. You know what I mean? So, but when white people had to, Jesse said, "What do you feel about that?" He was just asking the audience. And all the white people they agreed, but they agreed a bit, but they just were afraid to say. He's like, I get this feeling. I think this black girl stood up in the audience was just like, I feel like when white people are speaking, they're afraid to just say that they feel like this is true. They have to always lay out the nice words first. I mean, I have black friends, and I'm not saying that I agree with everything they say, because what they really want to say is, sometimes I do feel like black people are just mean to me.
They have to
for no reason.
They preference it with not all of them like this, but don't say that.
You don't have to say that.
You don't have to say that. We're assuming the rule, not the exception. But even Elle's like, she said, I'm not gonna lie, I'm paraphrasing, but she said, I'm not gonna lie that I felt a little uncomfortable even writing this to you ladies, because I want you guys to take it the wrong way. You're saying that because Elle, you can't say it, I can say it, but black people will come out their face with it, right? And what are you trying to say? You know what the normal comments are. What are you trying to say? People have attitudes all the time. You understand, I'm an angry black woman? That's what what will happen, right? Now, we're level-headed black people, so we know exactly what you're talking about. And we're not going to go there, but a lot of black people do. We had a subscriber that DM'd us, and he was saying that he was a white man, I believe. But he was young. Yeah, he was young. He said, whenever I'm talking to a black person about a topic, it could be a hot topic or whatever, it's like, if I talk to a white person or another race of person, it's like no big deal, right? Even if it gets somewhat a little bit debate, gets into the debate, it's not a big deal, right? We get through the conversation, it's whatever. When you talk to a black person, the majority of the time, they're yelling at you, they're getting mad, they're angry, they're animated, they're hostile. You know what I mean? Like, it gets like that. Yeah. Who the hell wants to be around that?
I mean, even like when I was watching the other day, Candace Owens, on the panel with Killer Mike and T.I.
Oh God,
and
that was awful.
Other people that I didn't really know, and I think Puff Daddy was in the front row, and it was funny because what Candace was saying was right. She was even Killer Mike had to agree with her on a lot of stuff.
Light of,
no, I'm not.
You're making light
I haven't gotten into my points. I'm not
of
making
people that look like us. You can't make light of that. That ain't nothing you breeze over.
I haven't even finished the sentence. How am I making light of anything?
You started with some bullshit.
Same thing on the other side. How are we negotiating? What is the negotiation tactics so that we're not acquiescing to somebody else's agenda, but being clear about ours in the process of giving them our support?
Well, I would say the first thing is that it's important to identify what our agenda actually is. I caught a lot of slack because I said this is the Democrat plantation, but I meant what I said. If you look historically at what the plantations were when we were slaves, there were three things that were necessary for them to run. The first was our ignorance. Black Americans were not allowed to learn how to read unless we would have our limbs chopped off. And that was because an educated mind cannot be enslaved. So the fact that our that our schools are in this condition in the inner cities and all throughout America and not a single candidate is talking about it is problematic to me. I think that that's a huge negotiating tool for me. We need to be talking about the inner city schools. Another component, and this is the biggest issue that I think is facing Black America today, which was important to maintaining the plantations, was the breakdown of family. The biggest issue facing Black America is father absence. We have children that are growing up without their fathers in the home, and that is being incentivized by the government right now via the welfare system. When the government says we'll give you more money if you don't marry the father of your children, you are incentivizing bad behavior in our community. What happens when you remove a father from the home? This is why I do not mess with feminism at all. I'm not with it. This breakdown and mocking masculinity, making it seem like there's something wrong to be a man, all of this contributes to the breakdown of family. When you remove...
y'all, hey, hold on. So, hold on, brother, hold on. There's going to be an opportunity for each of you to engage, but I want to make sure this sister has the right to talk while she's here. That's why we invited her. So let her say what she needs to say, and then let's keep it moving. Come on, y'all.
The single motherhood rate in the 1960s in Black America, and they thought that...
Now, hold on. I want to finish this. This is on your behalf. At a certain point, we can't hoes. At a certain point, these are black men and women, and in particular, these are black women. Like on some real G. It doesn't matter how you feel about her personally. Everything she has just said, Louis Farrakhan said for the last 25 years. But you cannot take the truth and be mad at who tells it to you. So just chill, bruh. Shut up. Let her say it and receive the information. That's it.
But it was interesting is that they wouldn't let her talk. They kept booing her and saying, she was like, you're not even letting me finish my sentence. Because Black people are so emotional that they can't even hear a logical, just listen to her. You don't have to like her.
Debate her later.
Debate her, let her be debated, but you won't even listen to her. But then as soon, it was interesting because the guy that was reacting to this said, isn't it interesting that as soon as T.I. just said the word racist, the crowd just... erupted in cheers and all this, and he was just like, and the guy stopped the comment, the thing. Isn't it funny that as soon as like this, like a trigger word, and so and all I could think was, Puff Daddy's in the front row just egging it on, and T.I. to me was a coward.
The way that
he's a coward, the way he was acting.
Because she was telling truth, and I believe that he knew that she was telling some truth.
No, but he's wealthy. Right. He knows exactly. He don't live around white. He don't live around Black people. He don't live around none of those two people in that audience. You know what I mean?
But there's trigger. But we talked about this before. There are trigger words with Black people: slavery, white supremacy, racism. So as soon as you say those three words in any capacity, you can mix them up, say it all at once, say it just one at a time. Doesn't matter. As long as you say one of those words, Black people are ready. They are ready to go to battle. Right? Don't even know the context of what we're talking about. But as soon as you hear white supremacy, that's right, the white supremacists is going to go oppression, and it's like you can see this girl. I mean, Candace was literally pleading. I mean, like she was literally saying, they're using your emotions against you, and people just goes right over their head. Like they're not even really thinking. All they're thinking is, I'm a victim. I'm a victim. Even when Killer Mike said it, he had to do it with some sort of humor and I didn't agree with everything he said either. But he was right. He said when we were mostly Republicans, which we all were at one point. When we were Republican, we owned our own land. We did.
And he said that. We owned our own land. We took care of our own people. We went to church. We did all of those things. Our families were more intact. But when we became Democrats,
nothing.
All of a sudden, everything started to kind of fall apart because Democrats use our emotions against us. They have us fall in line. We are 13% of this population, but we are a third of the abortion rate. We're doing our own genocide on ourselves and calling it health care.
Not to mention the murder rate with Black people within the Black community. Yeah, we're killing ourselves faster than anybody can.
Right.
At alarming rates. We're doing it faster than anyone.
We're the ones that don't want to marry each other. We're the ones that want to fight each other and and be at each other all the time. We're the ones that are only at a 74 single mother rate. We're the ones doing that. You can't blame nobody on that except for us.
That's what I'm saying.
That's choices. And even talked about school choice. Candace even talked about school choice, and they were just like, boo. It's like, school choice.
What do you mean?
She's saying it's better, the crappy schools that are in your neighborhood where where kids can't even read at grade level. The government, those public schools, the government's not helping your kids. They're coming out dumb. So school choice would be that you can choose, your parent can choose the school. They don't even think of, they just went right over their head because we're so addicted to the racist talk that we can't even understand where our own power lies is within. It comes from our own spirit and wanting to change. You know what I mean? Wanting to get the government out of it for a second. We have so many black people in government, and yet we've been marching since the 60s. Asian people have no real representation. Yeah. I mean, none really. No, and they're the richest people in this country. They're richer than whites.
But you know why that is? It's because they're not walking around talking about that I'm being oppressed by this country. What they're doing is just tunnel vision. Literally helping their own community and then getting wealthy doing that without complaining. So that's where we mess up, is that we can get wealthy if we want, but we're still complaining. Right? Black people, I swear, we have so many wealthy black people in this country. For them to say that we're a racist country just drives me up the wall. Okay, you guys, let us know what you think about this. Please leave some comments below. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to our channel. If you like our content, again, thank you to the new subscribers. So we'll see you guys on the next video.